Hi, welcome to Rewind the Timeline podcast, brought to you by thetimelinemachine.com. I am your host, the Timeline King. This is the show where we go back in time and look at all the anniversaries that have happened this past week, whether it's like 25 year, 35 year, 50 years, 75 years, etc. So let's begin. So this will be for the week of Sunday, April 30th, all the way up until Saturday, May 6th. Okay, so let's begin with April 30th. We have the 35th birthday of actress Ana de Armas. Ana de Armas, she's a Cuban actress. But she recently came to prominence, I think, past 5 years or so. She's done like a lot of American movies. She's been in War Dogs, Blade Runner 2049, Knives Out. She was in the first Knives Out movie, No Time to Die. Blonde. She actually got nominated uh, for for Best Actress for Blonde, so playing Marilyn Monroe. So she's definitely like a good talent, and yeah, good actress. I really liked her scene in No Time to Die, where she was with Bond and she was like taking out all the agents of Spectre. I think like everybody says that's one of the best movies in that in No Time to Die. One of the best scenes in No Time to Die. Yeah, and thankfully we're gonna get a lot more action with Ana de Armas. She's gonna be in a John Wick spinoff, Ballerina. I think that's scheduled to come out next year. So looking forward to that. I think her and Keanu Reeves did do a movie back in 2016 called Exposed. That's available for free to watch on Tubi if anybody wants to check it out. It's okay. I wasn't really understanding the plot, but if you want to check it out, check it out. Yeah, so happy 35th birthday to her. Okay, so next we move on to May 1st. So May 1st, also 35 years ago, May 1st, 1988, we had the made-for-television sequel, Splash 2. The first Splash movie came out in 1984. So this was actually the first movie that Disney released under their Touchstone Pictures banner. Now, at the time, like Disney was like very hesitant to do like PG films, so they strictly said that they would only do like G movies. But obviously, there's like a big audience for like PG movies, right? So they created this Touchstone Pictures banner as like a way to do like PG movies. And look at Disney today, like they're making PG 13 movies, and they're not even like batting an eye at that. Now the original Splash, that stars Daryl Hannah. So Daryl Hannah and Tom Hanks were in the original Splash. I think that was like one of Tom Hanks's first film roles, at least the ones that like made him come up to prominence. And Daryl Hannah plays a character named Madison in that movie. Now Madison, she got the name by just like by looking at a street sign, Madison Avenue, and that's how she chooses to take her name because she's like a mermaid from under the sea. She doesn't know anything about whatever, and she decides to take the name Madison. Now at the time, like it wasn't really considered like a name that women would take, but because of that movie Splash, Madison has just become such a popular girl's name after that. So we can credit the original Splash to to Dale Hannah and the writers of the script for choosing Madison. As for Splash 2, so none of the original actors come back. This is obviously a made for TV sequel, so you don't have the budget to get Tom Hanks or Dale Hannah to come back. Most people say like this one is terrible, so myself included. I cannot recommend this one. I can recommend the original Splash. I think it's probably because of the original Splash that we ended up getting that Disney released The Little Mermaid 5 years later in 1989 because of the popularity of that movie. They wanted to try like another mermaid movie, and watch 35 years later we're getting a live action Little Mermaid. So we'll see. Let's see if it holds up to the original Splash. It's probably not even going to hold up to the cartoon mermaid, but we'll check it out later this month. Uh, all right, and then next one, 25 years ago, this is also on May 1st, 1998, we had the release of the film Les Miserables. So Les Miserables is a novel by Victor Hugo, it's been adapted into movies a couple of times. So the most recent one that people remember is the one that stars Anne Hathaway and Russell Crowe, Hugh Jackman. So, but there was actually also one in 1998. This wasn't a musical version. This was just like a more straight up adaptation. So, and this one has like Liam Neeson, Jeffrey Rush, Uma Thurman, Claire Danes. So this has a bunch of actors. I think probably the push to like adapt Les Miserables probably came because The Hunchback of Notre Dame was released a couple of years ago before that, and that was like a popular film. So I think that kind of like opened up the door to other like Victor Hugo adaptations. So yeah, again, this is, seeing this movie, it's not something that I can fully recommend. But again, if you're just a fan of like the Victor Hugo novels and you want to check it out, there was one that was released 25 years ago today. Okay. All right, so let's go to May 2nd now. May 2nd, 1923, 100 years ago, May 2nd, 1923, we had the release of the novel Bambi, A Life in the Woods. Most people don't know that the Disney cartoon Bambi was actually based off of a book by Felix Saltan. It was originally released in Germany. So, yeah, Disney apparently really liked this book and he decided to adapt it into a movie. I actually did have a chance to read this book and I think it is very, very good. And I would definitely recommend a lot of people checking it out. The story of the Disney cartoon is very faithful to it, so it is a faithful adaptation. What the Disney cartoon does, it just makes everything a little more family friendly. So the original novel is like way dark, man. Like if you think like Bambi's mom getting shot is bad, like this is like, oh man, they just like the hunters just like slice it up and yeah. But anyway, no spoilers. But this is a good book and yeah, and I can recommend checking it out. Hard to believe Bambi is 100 years old now. Okay, so let's move on to 50 years ago, May 2nd, 1973. Okay, we had the release of the film Hitler, The Last 10 Days. Okay, so there have been a lot of like movies made about Hitler's life. So, but this one focuses on his last 10 days, like all the way up until like his suicide. I think the movie starts on like what I want to say like April 20th, and then until the day like he commits suicide. So like his last 10 days, just realizing the war is about to come to an end and he has no way out. So this one, it stars Alec Guinness. He plays Adolf Hitler. Alec Guinness would later become like super famous for playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars franchise in the original trilogy, and just learning that he was the one playing Adolf Hitler, it really like reminds me of that line in Revenge of the Sith where Anakin says, "From my point of view, the Jedi are evil." Yeah, yeah. If the actor who played Obi-Wan also played Hitler, yeah, then you can kind of understand where Anakin's coming from in that sense. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah, check out this movie. I don't think it's available anywhere online, but I mean, I think you can buy it on Amazon, so you can check it out. All right. So, all right, so next we move on to May 3rd. So this was 50 years ago, May 3rd, 1973. We have the construction, actually not the construction, more like the topping off. So they put the top part of the Sears Tower. So the Sears Tower is topped off this day, and when they finally put that top part off, then the Sears Tower officially became like the tallest building in the world. The previous record holder was the World Trade Center, but that only held that record for like 2 years until the Sears Tower took it in Chicago. So Sears Tower kind of held that record up all the way up until 1998. So it's like 25 years, and then it was surpassed by the Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur. So if anybody's like visiting Chicago this month, I highly recommend checking out the Sears Tower. I think it's called the Willis Tower right now. So, but yeah, you can check it out and look at what was once the tallest building in the world and is still one of the tallest buildings in the world. So happy 50 years to the Sears Tower. Okay, so next, this is also on May 3rd. This is 35 years ago. We have May 3rd, 1988. We have the release of the comic book series Marvel Comics Presents. So Marvel Comics Presents is an anthology comic book series. It stars like a bunch of different comic book characters. So back in these days, like Marvel wasn't if Marvel had a character who wasn't like as popular as some of the main ones like Spider-Man, X-Men, Captain America, Iron Man, whatever, so they would put them in like an anthology book, and just and depending on the sales of that, just see how it moves on. So this Marvel Comics Presents anthology book, it starred Wolverine, Man Thing, Master Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, Silver Surfer. So it had like a bunch of them, all all sharing the spotlight and stuff. So yeah. Now the best storyline that ever came out of this anthology series was Wolverine's Weapon X storyline. So that storyline originated in this one, where we found out Wolverine's origins, how he was grafted to adamantium skeleton, and yeah, and a lot of that arc is amazing on that one. That is like one of the best comic book story arcs ever. So as far as, I don't think there's much you can recommend on this, and but this one did last a while. It all lasted all the way up until in 1995, 175 issues. So because it was released like two issues a month, so it lasted a while. But yeah, happy 35th anniversary to Marvel Comics Presents. Okay, so next we get to 10 years ago. This is May 3rd, 2013. We had the release of the film Iron Man 3. So everybody knows that the first Iron Man movie was what started the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, back when I saw that movie when it came out in 2008, I didn't think like it was a great movie, but one thing you really got to admire is like Robert Downey Jr. really does like carry the movie. Like, and it's his performance as Iron Man. It's like, he's a very like non-traditional superhero where, he's very egotistical, self-centered, and it's just kind of a refreshing change to see from like the types great power comes great responsibility, yada yada yada. So so Iron Man 3, it's like once Avengers was successful, you knew that okay, whatever comes out is automatically going to be like $1 billion, and Iron Man was like the most popular franchise at the time, so it was inevitable to see this. But my God, man, when I saw this movie, like, okay, so spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, like, just turn it off right now because I'm just gonna go way into this. Uh, okay, so you start the movie, right? Okay, it's about Iron Man fighting the Ten Rings, right? Which is like the organization from the original Iron Man, and then you find out later that the head of the Ten Rings, the Mandarin, it's not really that guy. So the Mandarin, who in all the advertising is played by Ben Kingsley, you find out he's just an actor hired by some other dude who's not even as interesting of a villain. And I think at that point the movie just falls flat for me. So it's like that was like basically one of my problems that I had and with most fans have. It's like whether you like this movie or you don't like this movie can really depend on like how well you get on board with that twist. So, but other than that, I think the movie is generally okay. Like you get, I would say it's better than Iron Man 2, not as good as the first Iron Man. So it falls in that like mediocre Marvel range that most MCU movies fall into. Oh, one other thing I didn't get about this movie, like when I first saw it, is you have Iron Man like fighting this terrorist group, right? And it really felt like a Shield level threat, but and it bothered me throughout the whole movie. Like where is Shield throughout all this? But I guess they do kind of explain that in Captain America Winter Soldier, where Shield gets disbanded. So maybe Winter Soldier takes place before Iron Man 3, according to the Marvel timeline. At least that's how I saw it. So happy 10 years to Iron Man 3. Okay, so next we go to May 4th. So 75 years ago, we go to May 4th, 1948. We have the film Hamlet, which now this adaptation of Hamlet, it stars Laurence Olivier. So Laurence Olivier is like one of the greatest actors of all time. Um, and yeah, and this is like one of the most famous Hamlet adaptations of all time. So this one's available on HBO Max. Everybody knows the story of Hamlet, so there's like no spoilers in this. No point even mentioning that. But you can yeah, you can watch this. You can watch this on HBO Max. I think somebody uploaded on YouTube. You can check it out there as well. But yeah, if you're a Hamlet fan, if you're a Shakespeare fan, I definitely recommend checking this out. Like one of a great Hamlet adaptation. Okay, and obviously May 4th, May the 4th be with you. I have to mention a Star Wars thing. So this happened 25 years ago, May 4th, 1998. We had the release of the novel Star Wars I Jedi. So this is another like great novel in the Star Wars expanded universe, which before the Disney takeover, that was like pretty much the standard for like if you wanted to get any stories outside of the movies. So, and this one was written by Michael A. Stackpole. He also wrote the famous Star Wars X-Wing series. So he wrote this novel, I Jedi. Purpose of I Jedi was pretty much just to fill in some kind of continuity gaps that from the previous Jedi Academy trilogy. So it kind of retells those events, adjusting for like the continuity that was updated. But yeah, I felt like it was a good read, and yeah, the guy does a good job. So yeah, if you're a Star Wars expanded universe fan, like happy 25 years to Star Wars I Jedi. Okay, let's move on to May 5th. This is 35 years ago, May 5th, 1988. We had the birthday of Brooke Hogan. So she's the daughter of famous wrestler Hulk Hogan. So and she later like became a prominent on-screen television personality in her own right. She tried her success in acting, singing. I wouldn't say she's necessarily good at any of those things if you probably don't know her. So, but yeah, I think her claim to fame is still being Hulk Hogan's daughter. So happy 35th birthday to her. But somebody who is famous, also born on May 5th, 1988, is the singer Adele. So and Adele needs no introduction. She's been in, she has done like so many famous songs. Some I even get sick of just like listening to them all the time. But yeah, she has such a great voice, such a great singer, and I think yeah. So her album, I found out, 21. It was like the best selling album of the 21st century. It had like 31 million copies sold. Always thought it was like Taylor Swift that did that. And Adele, she did one of the James Bond theme songs, Skyfall, which she also won like an Oscar and Golden Globe for. So and somehow like I can definitely say like I would definitely consider Skyfall to be one of the best Bond songs, maybe even the best. Although I don't know, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is pretty good too. So we'll see. It's either between that one, Skyfall, or On Her Majesty's Secret Service. But yeah, happy 35th birthday to singer Adele. Okay, so there's nothing on May 6th except we gotta go into the coronation of King Charles III. So Queen Elizabeth passed away on September 8th, 2022. So yeah, Queen Elizabeth lived a full life, and then now her son Charles takes over the mantle. So it's yeah, now the dude's like 73, so we don't know how long he's actually going to become king. His reign is definitely not going to be as long as Queen Elizabeth's was. Queen Elizabeth is the longest running uh, British monarch, at least in modern times. So King Charles, I'm sure he has like another 20 good years, but we'll see how his reign goes. And yeah, and I woke up early on May 6th just to like watch his coronation. And man, I think this is the first time because like Queen Elizabeth like was all done in black and white. You get to see the color, you get to see like all the intricate ceremonies. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting and how old fashioned it is. But yeah, and I think for that reason, I think it definitely feels good to like be a part of history, to see something this major. So and I think this guy is like King Charles III. I think King Charles II was like back in the 17th century. So it's definitely been a been a while, for sure. So the James Bond franchise, they did release a book to honor this occasion. So it's On His Majesty's Secret Service is the name of the book. It was written by Bond author Charlie Higson. Charlie Higson also wrote the young James Bond novels, the first five, Silverfin, Blood Fever, etc. So and he returned to write On His Majesty's Secret Service, so not On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And so this one was released on May 4th, and it involved like Bond just trying to like thwart some kind of like last minute attempt to like stop the coronation. So we have like another Bond book to add to the canon here. So I'm still waiting for my copy, but we'll see how long it takes to get released. Look forward to reading this one. Okay, and I think that's it for right now. So we're done with the entire week. So if yeah, so have a good rest of the week, and we shall return. And as always, keep rewinding the timeline.